Skinny Hardaway Southern T. Back with another EP. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. Whether you're here for a good time or a long time, if you could do your brother a favor. Smash that like button for your brother when you roll on in. Today we here with a bit of breaking news. You know what I mean? We're in the midst of our basketball conversation yesterday. I talked about the Lakers and I talked about the Brooklyn Nets. And right, two teams that's both 1-5, two teams who both were talented to do better than 1-5 this year, right? But also two teams I feel like are going in a bit of different directions, even though both teams are 1-5. You know what I mean? Southern T, what you mean? Well, we had a Southern T yesterday, right, where we talked about the Lakers, right? And I told everybody it is not a time to panic, right? It is not a time to panic. You know what I mean? That's what I told everybody when they come to LA. I know it looked bad, right? I know it looked bleak, but it ain't time to panic in LA. And then right after I went and I did a show about, the Brooklyn Nets, and I told everybody that it's most definitely, time to panic in Brooklyn. And real quick, just to give you, a rundown real quick. The reason I say that it's not time to panic in with the Lakers, right, is because they're in their first year, right, with their new head coach, and they're only 6 games into the season, right? And if you look at the Lakers, the team actually looks like they enjoy playing together. The team actually looks like they're getting along. They're playing good basketball, right? They can't seem to get shots to fall, right? They got young guys who got to get more comfortable, with the game, and they got new guys who got to get more comfortable within their rotation, right? And that is fixed with time, right? That could be fixed over time and repetition, right? So I felt like the Los Angeles Lakers, right, with the new coach, with the new players, getting their rotations down and everything. I figured that they will be, okay, right? I think they'll be better off going forward. They got a game coming up against the Pelicans, in which I think they'll win. But then we had a conversation, right, about the Brooklyn Nets, and my tone was just a little bit what's good is outside, Drew. So I think Steve Nash wanted out. Yeah, I think he did too. But I had saw this. I saw this coming. Shout out my guy. It's inside Jew. It's inside Jew. Can you do your boy a favor, man? Can you smash that like button and subscribe to the channel? You know what I mean? We cover all sports over here: boxing, MMA, football, basketball, baseball. Or you know what I mean? All sports. I think he wanted out though. Outside Jew, right? I think he wanted out because it was going bad, right? Most coaches don't want out of a good situation, right? I believe Steve Nash wanted out because he felt like, it was coming. We had a conversation yesterday, right? I talked about the Brooklyn Nets. I was just, we were just talking about LA, and I was saying I felt like it wasn't time, to panic with LA. I felt like they had no time to get things together, right? Then we went to the Brooklyn Nets, and I was like, I'm not so sure about them because I don't see them, making the rotation adjustments. I don't see them making the lineup adjustments or the situation adjustments. Steve Nash kind of just lets them play. I said, and I asked another question: was it time to break up KD and Kyrie? The answer to that question was no. But was it time to panic? He said, "Me too. Subscribe to mine as well." Bet I got you outside, y'all. I had made a question. I was like, "Was it time to panic?" You know what I mean? I said, yes, it's time to panic because I don't see a situation in the foreseeable future that could help the Nets, right? Because Steve Nash was continuing to let Ben Simmons, run the offense, dominate the ball, only scoring 6 points. Now he got 7 rebounds and 6 assists, but I was saying I don't see that situation getting better as long as Ben Simmons is running, point guard for that team. I put the problem for that team on Steve Nash and the coaching and the situation and the rotation issue in Brooklyn, which is why I said, it's time for them to panic. But it's not time to break up KD and Kyrie, right? And then today, less than 10 minutes ago, the news broke that Steve Nash, has the news that broke, right, was Steve Nash and the Brooklyn Nets have parted ways. That was the news that broke, right? And I don't know if you heard it yet, but you will hear it. You know what I mean? You will hear it eventually. You'll hear it eventually, right? If you ain't heard it yet. Brooklyn Nets and Steve Nash have decided to part ways. Is how that they worded. Is how they worded it. Right. But we all know what they really mean. He said, in my opinion, Ben Simmons is a problem. Their front court is thin. Besides Claxton doing his thing, yeah, that's what I was saying. I said I think it was time for them to panic because Steve Nash, can't recognize that. I think can't recognize that the team will be better with Kyrie running the offense and Ben Simmons going down. You know what I mean, to the post, putting Ben Simmons in the post and putting challenging Kyrie to run the offense and get the other players involved as well as get himself involved. Which he's a talented enough player to do. Which is what I was saying yesterday. I say this is an easy fix for this team, but I don't see Steve Nash, doing it, which is why I said it was a time to panic. You know what I mean? They most definitely do need inside help, and I think that could simply be fixed by putting Ben Simmons down at the 4. You know what I mean? Which is what I was saying yesterday. And I said it's time for them to panic because Nash can't realize that. And now, today news break, Steve Nash parted ways with Steve Nash and the Brooklyn Nets parted ways. Right? He's encouraged, still hurt. TJ Warren as well. So XO. Yep, they still hurt. But even with them being hurt, with Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and Ben Simmons, with as good as those 3 guys are, and with the pieces that they got with their team, you should have a much better record than 1-5. You should have a much better record than 1-5. Yep, KD and Kyrie doing what they do, which is why I said it was time to panic, right? Because you will have KD scoring 30, Kyrie scoring 30, and you will still see them losing games. You know what I mean? And I feel like that was strictly a rotational problem. That's why I said it was time to panic. Because anytime you look down and you see Kyrie with 30 and KD with 30 and you still lose, you got to recognize their problem. And I recognize their problem. The problem was Ben Simmons. Not Ben Simmons being a bad player, just Ben Simmons being used wrong, on the floor. Just Ben Simmons being used wrong on the floor. And it's not what he wanted to do outside, Drew, right? That's why I think Steve Nash was fired, right? Because Steve Nash gave him that option, right? Steve Nash, Joe Harris still there. Steve Nash, if you want, see what you just said, if he want to play the 4 or 5, it ain't about what he want to do. As your coach, you got to make him do that. As your coach, you got to make Kyrie run the point guard and get his teams involved. Kyrie been passing off his point guard duties. Kyrie been passing off his point guard duties for the last 2 years. Now, their Brooklyn Nets team is going to be at its best when Kyrie is got that ball in his hand and Kyrie is running that offense and Kyrie is getting his teammates involved and scoring when he needs to score. That's when the Brooklyn Nets are going to be their best. The reason Steve Nash is gone now is because he didn't know how to tell them that, he didn't know how to find that and make that adjustment. He didn't know how to put them in position to win. You can't always let the players do what they want to do. You can almost never let the players do what they want to do because they're not going to respect you as a coach. He said he just don't want to score. And exactly. If you put him at the 4, you put him closer to the basket. You put him in pick and rolls. You let him drive. You let him dive to the basket. With the ball in his hand, he not going to penetrate with the ball because he's scared he go get fouled. And he not going to shoot the ball because he can't shoot. But if you put him at the 4, you put him in pick and rolls. You put him in high post. You get him closer to the basket where he comfortable at. You get him closer to the goal where he comfortable at. Facts. They lost game by a few points, and Ben Simmons only averaged 6 points. They lost games by a few points, but if Ben Simmons averaged more than 6 points, they would have won those games. Kyrie and KD are playing wonderful. KD and Kyrie are playing wonderful, and you still losing games. Just barely losing games just because Ben Simmons only averaged 6 points. If you take the ball out of his hands, you put him closer to the basket, he'll be more likely to score you some points. He'll be in better position to get you some rebounds. That's why Steve Nash gone. That's exactly why he gone. Because a lot of people, like a lot of y'all let the players do what they want to do. You're the coach. You're supposed to tell them what to do. You're supposed to see, what give your team the best chance to win. And what give that team the best chance to win is Ben Simmons playing the 4. And about what he want to do. You either go help the team, win, or you go get out of here. And that's why I said I don't think the Lakers are in trouble because that's exactly what Darren Ham said. Darren Ham said he pulled Westbrook to the side. He said, I'm going to have to bring you off the bench, right? But it's not a demotion. Once you get past the starter and the bench tag, it's really nothing because Westbrook didn't start the game, but he's damn sure finished the game, right? Dervin Ham saw an issue. He said, okay, I got to take Russell Westbrook out the starting lineup to free up more opportunities for LeBron and AD and let the younger guys, you know what I'm saying, spread their wings and get off a little bit. And I could kill two birds with one stone because I can put Russell Westbrook on the bench and I could boost up my bench morale, my bench scoring as well. And he can help take some burden off of those bench players, help them out and score a little bit, you know what I mean, as well. And also, you know, Derrick Ham was able to see that whether it's the right move or not, right? Derrick Ham made a move. Steve Nash ain't made a move. Steve Nash just been sitting here with the same team, just doing nothing. You have to make a move, whether it's the right move or the wrong move. That's gonna come out later, and that's gonna be seen later, right? But you have to at least take control and make a move. Steve Nash, what what that what that what that organization saw is they saw Steve Nash was never going to make a move. They saw Steve Nash was comfortable. They saw Steve Nash probably wasn't even really the coach. He was kind of just like a player. He just let those guys coach themselves. And why would you get a coach who gonna let the players coach themselves at all times, right? Steve Nash wasn't assertive enough to succeed with this team. You know what I mean? It wasn't this one of these situations where it was just going to work itself out. You know what I mean? Everybody said same thing in Philly. I literally used to compare they trash to LeBron his first year in the league. Same thing in Philly. Who you talking about, Godbody? Appreciate you sliding through this thing. Y'all could do your boy a favor. Smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. What's good, PJ's Big Dog? Appreciate you sliding through. Breaking news, Steve Nash has been fired as the Nets, you know what I mean, head coach. Steve Nash has been fired as the next as the Nets head coach. And I called it, right, man. I talked about this yesterday. In fact, I talked about this yesterday. I said it's time to panic. It's time to panic in Brooklyn. You know what I mean? It's time to panic in Brooklyn. No, it's not time to break KD and Kyrie up, but it's time to panic because this team got a crisis identity issue. You got a 6'2" point guard that want to play shooting guard, and you got a 6'10" power forward that want to play point guard. You get what I'm saying? It's up to Steve Nash to fix that. And as long as Steve Nash, Steve Nash wasn't taking on any efforts, you know what I mean, to fix that type deal. So this move of him getting fired, now I'm a little surprised that, it happened the next day, but I had this conversation, right, yesterday, right, and we was talking about this in Steve Nash. Literally, we had this conversation yesterday over here on Southern T, right? Y'all, was I not ahead of this or was I not ahead of this, y'all? Like, real talk. Was I not? Did we not just talk about it being time to panic in Brooklyn? And what did Brooklyn do today? Y'all don't feel me though. Y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on there. Y'all don't feel Southern T over here. I told y'all, bro, I'm just as good, if not better, than these journalists and these writers and these East Men. I be kidding a lot of these narratives too in here. People come in here and try to debate me, and they get their ass tore up. They get their head bit off. You know what I mean? Because most people just be in here. Most people just be, in here rambling. I'm in here, spitting them facts. Like I do this every single day. Like I watch every single NBA game type deal. I most definitely bet on every single NBA game. I watch every single NBA game I can, and if I don't watch it, I'm most definitely watching the scorekeeper, right? Because I probably got bets on it. You know what I mean? So I ain't just in here pulling shit out my ass. I could coach. This shit if I want to. You know what I mean? I could coach this shit if I want to. Literally, what's good, 88? Appreciate you sliding through. 88 said, to be honest, he should have been fired. Yo, did we not just talk about this yesterday, 88? Did we not just talk about the Brooklyn Nets yesterday? Was you in here yesterday when we had that Brooklyn Nets conversation? Tim Free just dropped the link. Or he tried to drop the link. Y'all see Tim Free link? Ah, damn, I can't because Tim, I could see it. Y'all can't see it because Tim ain't got no. Let me. Matter of fact, I'm finna copy your junk. I'm finna drop that junk for y'all. Like, look, like y'all ain't got to click it now though. But we literally just had this conversation. You know what I mean, yesterday, and then boom, you know what I mean. Brooklyn Nets making move, but you want to know what? Let's really talk about it. Because this is basically a follow-up story, right? Let's really talk about it. I said yesterday that it was time to panic in Brooklyn, and what they do today, they fired their coach. So you know what that means? They made a move. They made progress, right? They identified a problem, and the problem that they identified was Steve Nash, right? So they identified a problem, and now they're going forward with fixing the problem. So they're going to get a new coach in, which is exactly what I thought. You're going to need a guy who's going to be able to see that this team is better if Kyrie is running point guard, getting other guys involved and scoring when he wants. You know what I mean? We literally just had a conversation about the Nets and the Lakers yesterday. I want to have a conversation about a couple of teams today. And I am, after we do this, we're going to have us a Philadelphia conversation, and we're going to have us a Golden State Warrior conversation. You know what I mean? Today. After we speak our piece on Steve Nash and the Nets fire him as the head coach. But I ain't gonna say I saw this move coming right. The move that I saw coming right was Steve Nash, being, growing the pair right, because I feel like Steve Nash was just too passive as a coach. The move that I saw right coming was Steve Nash, taking Ben Simmons off the ball and putting Kyrie back on the ball. But I'm guessing, the organization knew something that I didn't. I'm guessing the organization knew that Steve Nash probably was just, too nice a guy and didn't have that in him. So I like the move. I like the move with them, getting rid of Steve Nash, because as I stated yesterday, I do feel like that was part of the problem. You know what I mean? The coaching, the coaching and rotations of Steve Nash. You know what I mean? It's a crisis. Again, I'm gonna say it again. It's a crisis identity going on in Brooklyn Nets. You got a 6'2" point guard that think he's a shooting guard, right? And you got a 6'10" power forward that think he's a point guard. It's an easy fixable problem. My thing is, why Steve Nash can't recognize that, I don't know. You put Kyrie Irving back at the one, right? And you challenge Kyrie Irving to get your teammates involved. We know you can score 20 points, 25 points when you want to. But I challenge you, Kyrie, get your team involved and score when you need to, not when you want to. You know what I mean? That's what's going to be best for this team. Get Ben Simmons involved. Kyrie can score 30 points. KD can score 30 points, and the Brooklyn Nets will still lose. How? Because Ben Simmons, you know what I mean, is he's running point guard for 32 minutes, but he only averaging 6 points. It's a lot of dead time with that ball, a lot of points being left on the board, and you're only losing by 5. You're only losing by 5 or 6 points. You know what I mean? So Ben could get you 5 or 6 more points. You know what I mean? That'll be a win. If Ben could average 9 points or 10 points and not 6, you'll get a lot of wins where you get losses. What's good, Nazay? So now they could be in the right situation. That you got to score the right. Yeah, in fact, you got to score at a high clip than 6 points. You know what I mean? But yep, they moving in the right direction. We were just having this conversation. You know what I mean? Yesterday, we was just having this conversation yesterday over here on Southern T, and you see how this shit work. They knew they had to be progressive and make a move. Darren Ham, right? The reason that I was good with, yep, he can score. Facts. But Steve Nash wasn't putting him in the best positions to score because he had the ball in his hand, letting him run point guard when he was really just coddling him and making him comfortable. You put him down there, you know what I mean, on the post, and you challenge him, to be a better player. You challenge him to be great. Just like you put the ball in Kyrie's hands and you challenge him to be great. You don't, those players are too great to be shying away, from the things that they're born to do. Or you know what I mean, type deal. And I think the organization saw, right? The organization saw that Steve Nash wasn't going to do that. You know what I mean? I think Steve Nash, y'all do your boy a favor. 18 people in the building. I got 10 likes. I need everybody in here to smash that like button for your boy. Whether you're here for a good time or a long time, if I could, get y'all great people in the building. Jab that thumbs up. This is not a drill. Steve Nash and the Brooklyn Nets have decided to part ways. You know what I mean? They said part ways. I said fire. You know what I mean? We all know what's going on. We was just having this conversation yesterday over here, about the Brooklyn Nets. And is it time to panic and all that good stuff, right? The Brooklyn Nets saw that they needed, to make a move. Now, firing Steve Nash, no, this isn't the move that I thought they would do. The move that I thought they would do, right? The move that I thought would be made, right, is that Steve Nash would just improve. You know what I mean? He would just improve. He will make the necessary adjustments. But I'm guessing, you know what I mean? The organization saw that, he was complacent. He was sitting in place. He said, Nets need a coach like Mark Jackson. Nets need an identity. Yep, facts. They need somebody who go put them in the best positions to win. Steve Nash is one of those. You go out there and figure it out, coaches. Now, great players like to be coached, right? At times, there is times where you just tell them, you go out there, you figure it out, right? But great players like to be coached, right? If one thing isn't working, you change it. They was 1-5. The Lakers was 1-5. The Lakers got to 0-4, and Darren Ham said, "You know what? I need to make a change somewhere. Whether it's the right change or the wrong change, I need to make a change somewhere. So what I'm gonna do is we 0-4. I'm gonna bring Russell Westbrook off the bench. In the first game, Russell Westbrook came off the bench. The team played significantly better. They still lost, but they had the lead majority of the game, and they ended up losing the game late in the game. The next game, they came back and they won. So he made his change. He lost one, played better, then he won one, played better. You know what I'm saying? So he made a change. Whether it was the right or the wrong change is yet to be seen. But what we do know is Ham ain't afraid to take the lead, take initiative. You know what I mean? Steve Nash, I feel like he was going to let this team, dwindle. So I feel like what they're trying to do now is say their season, say their organization, and put somebody in place who could put them in the best positions to win. He said the Lakers won't come close to making the playoffs. What are you talking about? Don't panic. But okay, you must be a Brooklyn Nets fan, huh, Billy? Shout out my guy Billy Marlowe. Billy Marlowe, do your boy a favor, hit that like button for your boy, subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Whether they'll make the playoffs or not, right, is yet to be seen. That we don't know. But what we do know is they needed to make a change, and they made a change. Right. The Brooklyn Nets needed to make a change. They weren't really making the changes, so the front office made it for them. You know what I mean? Type deal. And a lot of people think the Lakers ain't making the playoffs. That ain't no hard pick to make. Like most people don't think they making it. I'm saying they making it. You know what I mean? And I waited till they went 1-5 before I said it. You know what I mean? So when they do make it, so if they do make it right, I'm gonna sound extra smart. And if they don't make it, this shit just gonna go by the wayside because I did this shit 7, 8, 9 months ago. But if they do make it, you better believe I ain't gonna never let y'all forget it. Shout out to my guy Naze. I ain't no Laker fan either, by the way. I'm a Memphis Grizzlies fan, just to let you know, Billy. Yeah, I'm a Grizzlies fan, just to let you know. But yeah, appreciate y'all folks sliding through this thing. Y'all smash that like button for your boy. He said all they gotta do is make it, and the rest is in LeBron's hands. Oh yeah, facts. Playoff Bron. Playoff Bron, man. It's a real thing. Playoff Bron, man. That's a real thing. Playoff Bron, man, winning for the team. Appreciate y'all folks sliding through this jump, man. But yep, Steve Nash and the Brooklyn Nets have, right, in their words, right? Steve Nash and the Brooklyn Nets have parted ways. But what I'm saying is the Brooklyn Nets have fired Steve Nash because at the end of the situation, that just is what it is, man. They fired that man, but they didn't want to do it. They fired him right, but they didn't want to do it disrespectfully. Right? They fired him, but they did it respectfully. And we was just talking yesterday about them having to make a move, and this wasn't the move I thought they was gonna make. I thought Steve Nash would make a move, right? But what they did was they moved Steve Nash. So that's what happened. So you got Brooklyn Nets and the Steve Nashes. You got the Brooklyn Nets and Steve Nash parting ways. After what happened in seasons was 3 seasons, right? This is how you let go of a superstar coach, right, or a former player that used to be a coach without all the media, deflect and being negative about the situation. You say that y'all parted ways or that they stepped down, right? They parted ways or they stepped down, type deal. So there's that. So there's that. But yeah, I'm not against. I'm not against the move being made, right? Because I knew something had to be done. I just didn't expect, him to get fired, right? Matter of fact, let's read this article. It said decisions to part ways was mutual between Nets and head coach Steve Nash, reported by Steve Woj. You know what I mean? So let's see what Woj had to say. They say it was mutual, man. That man got fired. No coach, right? No coach who's playing good just wants to leave a team. Now I have seen it, right, where coaches be doing good and they have to take a leave, right? But no team doing good, no coach doing good wants to part ways with a good team. No coach on his way, to a championship, to a playoff run wants to part ways with his team. It's just not gonna happen, right? So they quote unquote parted ways for a reason, but I digress. Steve Nash is out as the head coach of the Brooklyn Nets. The team announced Tuesday the decision to part ways was mutual between the Nets and Nash, sources told Adrian Wojnarowski. We want to thank Steve for everything he's brought to our franchise over the past 2.5 years. Since becoming head coach, Steve was faced with a number of unprecedented challenges, and we are sincerely grateful for his leadership, patience, humility throughout his tenure. Personally, this was an immensely difficult decision. However, after much deliberation and evaluation of how the season has begun, we've agreed that change is necessary at this time. Yo, who said that? Who said that? In a separate statement, Nash thanked Marks and team ownership for the amazing experience with many challenges that I'm incredibly grateful for. Assistant coach Jock Vaughn is the acting head coach tonight, but expect the Nets to inquire with suspended Boston's coach Ime Udoka or former Utah Jazz Quinn Snyder, amongst other sources, tell ESPN agent Wojnarowski. Boston will let Udoka leave for another job, sources said. Oh shit. So the Nets go hire Udoka. So the old suspended Boston Celtic coach, the suspended Boston Celtics coach, the Nets are looking to hire him. It says him and Quinn Snyder. You know what I mean? So Ime Udoka may be coaching the Nets. And I like that move. If Ime Udoka end up coaching the Nets, I like that move. You know what I mean? The only reason he ain't coaching was good. We talk. Appreciate you sliding through. Was good, family. The Brooklyn Nets fire Steve Nash. Brooklyn Nets fire Steve Nash. And who called that shit though? Did we have this conversation yesterday about whether it was a time to panic and should we tear apart KD and Kyrie? And what I said was, nah, we shouldn't tear them apart. Or it ain't the time to panic. My bad, y'all. My bad, my bad. My bad, my bad. My bad. Oh, the Bears traded Chase Claypool. Oh shit! Shut up, Mop. Clay Claypool to the Bears. My bad, pimp. Yeah, Steve Nash got fired. We talked. Steve Nash got fired. Clay Claypool to the Bears. I lost my first fantasy league game. Yep, Claypool to the Bears, man. Well, I know we talk gonna be pissed about that. Wow. So Steve Nash out. Steve Nash out. I had this news broke. I feel like something had to be done, man. My bad. I feel like something had to be done as far as the Brooklyn Nets making they goddamn move. Said Birds gave up their second round draft pick. Yep. They must really believe in Chase Claypool. But the Brooklyn Nets, they don't got a bad team. They got a bad record right now, right? They don't have a bad team. I think they a place or two, right? Not a player or two, right? But a place. They are a rotation move or two away from, you know, turning their season around, type deal. I think it's cool how we called that jump, right? I think it's cool how we had the conversation yesterday, and then today you get news break that Steve Nash is out of there. I personally thought, right? I guess saying it without saying it, right? I hope Steve Nash will be, a good coach, but I kind of knew just from looking at his work, you know what I mean, last couple of years. Steve Nash ain't really that good. I also knew right at the beginning of this year when he put Ben Simmons at point guard over Kyrie Irving, they went 1-5, and he continued, to let him play. The one, no player averaging 6 points, right? Playing 30 minutes is going to ever win you the game. 6 points in 30 minutes, that's a detriment to the team when you playing the point guard position. All right. And it's a detriment in this situation because you can clearly see Kyrie scoring 30, KD scoring 30, and they still losing by 5 and 6 points. See, if Ben Simmons can muster up, you know what I mean, the 15 points that he's supposed to have, or even the 12 points, right? That'll make, double what he got now. The Brooklyn Nets fortune could change swiftly, right? But I am pro the move to get rid of Nash. I don't think Nash was the guy, right? So now you can figure out, the coach that you're going with for. They said Bird, yeah, gave up their second round pick. Yeah, facts, they did. Yep, they gave up a second round pick, man. That was out of nowhere. That shit literally just broke right. I'm over here in my goddamn phone, and then I see that shit, and then I see that shit right there. And y'all see Mob Aaron weird ass come right in here as soon as it get quiet around this jump. As soon as they get quiet and they come in here talk. What's up, Mob? Why you ain't say nothing the whole time I was up there? But hell yeah. It's plenty news and shit breaking right now. Claypool to the Bears. I know my guy 88 pissed off about that. Yep, Steve Nash has been fired as the Brooklyn Nets head coach. What's good, D Freak? Appreciate you sliding through. I want D Freak. What's good, Pimmy? Steve Nash got fired by the Brooklyn Nets. We was just talking about this shit yesterday. Y'all like when shit like this happen, right? I be feeling like T. Stradamus around this motherfucker when shit like this happen. Right? Just saying how they got to make a move, how, the Lakers, made their move. They've been playing better. And the Brooklyn Nets just been sitting in the standstill. So since Steve Nash wouldn't make the move, the organization made it for him. And the Brooklyn Nets and Steve Nash have decided to part ways. That's what they said, right? They've decided to part ways. But you ain't fooling me. You know what I mean? That man got fired for underperforming. And that's just, is what it is. My bad though. But hell yeah. Again, like we ain't gonna know whether this was the right move or the wrong move, right? Until a little later on down the line. We gotta see how everything shake out and everything play out. But this is a good enough team, right? Even with the injuries that they have now, right? Even with the injuries that they have now, this is a good enough team to be better than 1-5. My bad. He said, we party ways. I'll just say you fired him. Yeah, facts. He said Birds gave up their second round. Yeah. He said we party ways. Yeah. They fired him without making it embarrassing for him. Basically what they did. Right. They fired him without making it embarrassing for him. That's all they mean when they say, oh, he stepped down or he parted ways or he resigned. Sometimes people resign, just because, right? But no winning team, right? How often do you see a coach resign from a winning team or resign from a team going good? This is just a way to save face, right? The Brooklyn Nets had more respect for Steve Nash than to fire him. That's how you know the relationship wasn't a bad one, right? When they decide to part ways this way. When you hear about, right, a lot of extra stuff in the media, there probably was a bad falling out. It seemed like, this time the Brooklyn Nets, realized the Brooklyn Nets found the problem, right? They feel like the problem is Steve Nash, which I do also. I think Steve Nash X's and O's are horrible, all right? And I think he let his key players, do what they want to do. This team has enough talent, you know what I mean? With this team has enough talent as to where Steve Nash should have been able to compile a better record than 1-5, but they also have enough talent, right, that they can overcome a lot of situations on their own. But the problem with Nash is he let them overcome every situation on their own, right? You got a big man problem. And instead of, putting Ben Simmons, you got a big man and a rebounding problem, right? Instead of putting Ben Simmons, one of your better rebounders, closer to the basket down in the paint, you stick him at point guard and push him either farther away from paint. And then you let your 6'2" point guard run shooting guard. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie, like I saw this coming. I spoke on it yesterday because I saw it coming. I didn't think Steve Nash was going to get fired, right? But I saw big changes somewhere, right? I saw the panic button coming, right? That's what I saw coming, type deal. But I ain't gonna keep y'all in this thing too long. Skin the harder way to the T. This ain't the past. This ain't the future. This the present. That's how we rocking. And I'm out. Hello. We about to make these bets after a while too. But yeah, I'm gone, y'all.